Also,
Then fine.
we should be able to.
Because I entered my name, but I guess I.
Yeah.
It's not like there's a button I didn't press. So I thought that was timekeeper. Timekeeper, you see, there's nobody timekeeper, so it was me, but I didn't.
Also, Pratika sent an email to
I mean, I
didn't
yeah.
like what to do,
So
and then I think Nicole also got some comment.
You have enough.
Definitely explore your options. Yeah, or like on my back, like I mean, like yeah, like that might be an option.
You need to experience, we need to have.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah. Or maybe I should not. Yeah, but you know, I put myself as timekeeper. That would be super. Yeah, but there's always a button I don't press because my name doesn't appear. Anyway, who's the general evaluator? So that
We should tell them to toast them for the pay.
I am timekeeper.
Like,
Yes, the general evaluator.
Yeah, because Pratika, I don't think she can make it. She might not.
No, but
I mean, yeah, okay.
I sit so that.
That's why we are going to do like a joint.
Yeah.
So that she knows.
Yeah, sure.
What we would be.
Okay, but we can. Yes.
But basically, it's like this, I think you are.
Yeah.
Right? We're trying to say that that's very special.
Yeah, but the thing is, you see,
Looks like a right. This on it. No time, no, you've been down and you're enjoying it. You know,
no, it's just, I don't, it's anybody who's not going to speak, otherwise it's not important, but. It's, you know, it's.
Excuse me, you should tell Stella. Stella needs to know. No, what? That your time.
But the general evaluator is really.
Yeah, but she might announce.
Or maybe there is still a little support. Yeah.
Stella, I'm going to be the timekeeper, but for you to know, right?
Yeah, okay. Do you need a ballot counter? I can do that. Or we'll give it to Brian.
I'll do
You can be the ballot.
Here or?
You feel comfortable. May I call you Sunil? Excuse me, may I call you Sunil?
Yes, of course.
I'm Maria Teresa. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it was a long vacation. Just returned.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, sort of like whoever. Oh, wow. Yeah.
I was thinking that there was a celebration.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to go outside because of that fixed.
Oh, yeah.
But then when it very much.
Yeah, very, sympathetic with the long days,
But I don't want to want that you will self-reflect.
I'm making these, so the post, which is the two vice president. I mean, Benjamin's. Yeah.
Going back to the state. It's great until you remember.
Staying through. Yeah, I stay through the summer. I still have my membership.
Okay.
Come back.
Now you need to drink it.
We're just organizing that people can see the room.
Require like all the entry level layers to get into the building. Yeah, like we had the guests from the other bus. Sharing.
Let's see some of
Let's give it a chance to these people.
Yeah, but when I Yeah, I was the one that was supposed to.
I think it's really right.
Oh, sure. Timing went, but yeah. Yeah, by participating in.
Okay. I think that's the best.
Just seems like.
Yeah, but it's
Your
awesome.
and thoughts are very well.
Can you?
At the moment, these are all the people.
It's really good at one, but yeah, congratulations for deciding to do that.
When more people start getting mainstream function theory.
It wouldn't be realistic. Okay, but
For qualification for the competition.
I.
Well,
Yeah.
not all of us, but.
I think I should.
We'll try, maybe we get the feedback from Ben and Monica, and then we'll try to fix it next time. Yeah, thanks so much for helping. So, yeah. Yeah. So hello, everyone. Welcome to our meeting, and it's really nice to see you all today after the long weekend. I'm so happy to see so many of you. Wasn't expecting this, like, after the long weekend. But welcome to our Tuesday meeting, the second one in April, the hybrid meeting of Toastmaster. And I'm the president of the VIC Toastmaster Club. My name is Silla. And for those whom of you might not know, and so we're really happy to see you all to have this meeting here today. And before I start the business section of the Toastmaster meeting, may I just invite our guests maybe to introduce yourself a little bit and how do you get to know the club?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Simeon. I'm an intern here in the talent development team. I work with Megan. Just down like 5 rooms down.
Oh,
And I saw this event in the interns WhatsApp group. It sounded interesting.
cool.
And then I also wanted to talk with Mahmoud, and then he said, "Oh, well, today I'm a little busy. There's this event going on. Would you like to talk?" I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm free. So yeah, it sounded interesting, and I wanted to see what it's all about. So.
That we are in the interns WhatsApp group, so I don't know who put it out there, but thanks for putting it out there. So thank you so much. And actually, I have a few items to go through for the business section. First thing is also a little bit about Mahmood, because I wanted to talk a bit about the contest that we have over the weekend. There was the speech contest for the Toastmaster at the division level last Saturday, and in our club we have Mahmood, Ria joining, and also Ray Rong, another one. 3 participants participating in the contest. Bravo. And so Mahmood participated in evaluation contest, Ria in table topic contest, and Ray Rong in both table topic and international speech contest. And yeah, so we are really happy, for them for this incredible experience. Ray Rong, I think she got placed the 3rd one in the international speech. I posted the result in my LinkedIn page, but I will also, circulate among WhatsApp group very soon. So congrats again to all the participants, and I hope possibly maybe you can share with us a bit also of your, feeling and comment about like participating in the contest.
Sure. Yeah, it was a great experience. Yeah, I was actually had a duty on the Vienna International Science Fair, and so I was looking in the Vienna International School. So I was looking for a room, and I finally find a small room. And then the contest started. I did the greeting, as I was like teach to do, and then I was waiting for the question for the table topics as we used to. And then the lady said, "Red," and disappeared. And I was waiting like about 3 or 4 seconds more. So she will come back or say until my mind was like, okay, this is now you need to. It was quite hard, but it was very, very nice, and I really enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, thank you very much for all your support.
Thank you. Mahmood, you were there in person, no?
Yes.
Yes. How was it?
For me, it was a nerve-wracking experience. Like the moment that you start moving into the podium and speaking in front of a group of people, for me, I was really nervous, but then I took a deep breath and then started speaking. Like whatever I will say, I will just keep going. Sometimes I start a sentence and I don't know how to end it. That was the evaluation, but it went well. Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't get qualified or didn't get any of the 3 first places, but it's fine. It was a good experience.
Bravo, Martha.
Yeah, that is what matters the most, no? That's like, yes, I'm really happy to hear that you enjoy it.
Our counterpart.
So, in addition to the contest, now the second point is there is a call for whoever member who might be interested in joining us for the next executive committee, meaning that, you know, I think we have a number of vacant posts for the next term of the executive committee starting from July. So if anyone would be interested in, you know, taking part a bit more actively in the management and administration regarding the club, we have, I think, public relations, like secretary. Yes,
Can I?
yes, please, Nicole. Yeah, she's the head of our leadership committee.
No, I'm not the head, but I am a member of the leadership committee.
Yes.
And I just wanted to tell you that it would be very good if some members would be committed enough to take part in that executive committee. It would give you a very, very good insight of how the club works. Basically, all posts are vacant. All posts.
Okay, yes, that's true.
Anybody can be a candidate for any post. There is the post of president of the executive committee. There is the post of vice president for education, vice president for public relations, vice president for membership. And then there's the post of secretary and sergeant at arms.
Treasurer, very important.
Sergeant at arms is not a post, right?
It is.
It is. And
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
President.
You know, I'm supposed to be a member of that leadership committee. Anyway, and yes, there's 7 posts all in all. You can apply to all of them. They're all open. We have already people who would be candidates for 5 of them. 2 are for sure empty. That's the vice presidents for public relations. That is the connection between the club and other clubs and the outside world, which for us is not very, very, very intensive work because we're the UN, so we don't relate to the outside world that much, not as much as the other clubs. And the second post is secretary. Secretary is the person who has to attend the executive committee meetings once a month and write the minutes and also take care, but that's not a big job, of the email account. But that's not a big job. Just checking whether some emails are coming in. So it's not it's not a lot of work. Anybody who wants to try it, then you come to me or you write to Melanie, but you come to me since I'm here today. And I will see with Melanie if we have other candidates. But anyway, there will be a vote during the general assembly, the general meeting, and we'll see. But thank you for committing.
I just have a point of order. Maybe people would like to know what the job entails. I mean, what do you have to do to be vice president for public relations or membership or president even? You know, I wouldn't sign up to do anything if I didn't know what I'm responsible for.
Job description. Yeah, there's a job description in Toastmasters International.
And also on Easy Speak, although we don't adhere to everything.
But they would come to you and you would.
Yeah,
get
if you want,
the
if there's
information.
something that you think you could be interested in, you can come to us, that is you, because Ines is also a member of the leadership committee, or Melanie, the past president. So you come to us and we'll explain and we'll tell you what the job entails.
Yeah.
Perfect.
To be honest, I became the president not knowing what it means. So that could be another way of doing it as well. Just jump in and do it, and you will learn it and figure it out throughout. So, so 2 more points. Just wanted to say, like, we will be organizing a social activities for the club next Thursday after work. We'll be in the bar of the VIC. The whole point is to show our appreciation for the members. So we'll buy you drinks if you're members of the club, but we also want to promote the club and to let more people know about this club in a, in an informal environment and more relaxed manner. So, if you have people who might be interested, bring your friend, to check it out, and we'll announce the details also very soon.
What time about?
5 around.
Yeah.
Really hour work 5.
Next Thursday, which is the 4th of May,
Next,
I think.
Because we have.
next Thursday.
Yeah, right. Next Thursday is the 4th of
We
May.
said 27th. okay.
Yeah.
As the following.
Next Thursday, so yeah. And in addition to the social activity, also there would be a joint meeting together with the Women of Nuclear on the 14th of June, which is the first meeting in June. So we'll be, not a joint meeting, but the president of that Women in Nuclear, she will come and join us for our Toastmaster meeting. So, but all this, of course, we'll share more details with you, later in the WhatsApp group or email, and all that. So.
AGM,
Yeah, AGM would be, like Nicole said, the voting actually would take place in the second meeting of May, which is, let me check the date. We'll send you a list of all these days with different activities so that you can mark your calendar. It would be the 23rd of May.
23rd.
23rd, yes, second meeting in May. We'll have the voting for the next executive committee. So, yeah.
and financial reports by our treasurer.
So, yes. So enough of the business and the administrative part of it. We wanted to get to the meat of the meeting so that our guests won't be too lost. And yeah, so if I may, then now we'll begin actually our Toastmaster meeting. And I would be today the Toastmaster of the day. So I will start the meeting formally. And with that, I wanted to, to just give a brief introduction about what is Toastmaster meeting. We have two parts of the meeting, whereby first part is the prepared speech. So members would be preparing, a speech of 5 to 7 minutes to deliver, and then would be evaluator who gives feedback, to the member who is giving the speech. And also we have a paper actually whereby we can give written comment to the speaker as well. So we'll set the paper ready so that, even if you're not the evaluator, you are most welcome to give comment and suggestions, to the speaker delivering the speech. That's the first part. Hello, hey, welcome to the meeting. Please take a seat. And the second part of the meeting is what we call the table topic session. The exciting and interesting part, whereby it would be chaired by the table topic master, and today would be Mahmoud, who would be giving us a list of impromptu questions whereby the members would be just co-op point without any preparation to deliver a table topic speech of 1 to 2 minutes. And with that, of course, we need a whole team of people, coming together to make sure that everything is in order and all roles, have been taken. And with that, I will now pass the floor to our general evaluator, Ria, who actually will be introducing the team of road takers today to help us to run the meeting smoothly. Ria, please.
So today I have the honor to be the general evaluator of this meeting, but I'm not doing this alone. I have a charming team, so which I would like to now introduce. Please, may I ask the timer to tell us the task, please.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. So for those of you who are new, we have a time limit when we are going to speak here as a speaker, as an evaluator, and you'll see also as a table topic speaker. And for the speakers, the prepared speeches, we don't have any icebreaker today. So the prepared speeches, I'll put up this green card at, sorry, today I'm not able to, so at 5 minutes. I'll put the yellow card up at 6 minutes, and I'll put the red card up at 7 minutes. And we'll keep it up at 7 minutes. And then the speaker has got to stop talking at 7 minutes 30. That's very limited. Now for the evaluator, since we're going to have an evaluation, the evaluation will last from 1 minute 30 to 3 minutes 30. And again, at 2 minutes, then this will go up. At 2:30, this will go up. And at three, this one will go. And then you're going to see we have table topics. You're going to discover what it is. But again, we have the time limit, and the time limit is 1 minute, 1 minute 30, and 2 minutes. And that stays at up to 2 minutes. I hope that it's clear for everybody, especially while this.
Many thanks. Thank you. And of course, we will have a grammarian. May I please kindly ask our grammarian to explain the topic?
I will come a little bit here so that participants can see it. As a grammarian, also for the guest, as a grammarian, I will review or report on the use of English language grammar, the word of the day, which I'm just also sharing with you in a minute. I would also look at who could get the grammarian crown, and most of all, I will give constructive feedback. The word of the day, you would not believe it. It's artificial intelligence. And this is considered a noun according to the Oxford language colleagues. The definition which is being given is the theory and development of computer systems able to perform tasks normally requiring human intelligence, such as visual perception, speech recognition, decision making, and translation between languages. And with that, back to you.
So it will need actually artificial intelligence to count the A's and the O's. So who is our counter today?
It's me.
Hi!
Hello.
Would you please be so kind to describe your task?
I hope you will hear me. I mean,
Yes.
okay. Okay, I'm the counter today, as Ria kindly said. So I will be counting all the gap fillers like ums and ams or repetitions that are unnecessary in our daily speeches. So usually for each gap filler, we charge 10 cents. I hope someone will be able to charge the 10 cents on my behalf since I'm online. So that's my role, and back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Many thanks. And last but not least, we will have a ballot counter. Brian, would you be so kind to inform us about the task?
Yes. I will be counting the ballots when we vote on the best table topic, which will come at the end.
Thank you. And of course, not to miss the evaluator of the speech, but this will be coming then in a later stage, which will be banned in this case. But this will be then a little bit more presented more precisely. With this, I would like to give control back to the Toastmaster of the day. Sila, thank you so much.
Yeah. So much, everyone, and my chief Monica is real. She's not an artificial intelligence. So, yeah. But we're so happy to see you both online. So before I continue, yes, I continue the meeting. I would just also want another guest to introduce herself so that, before we go on, so that we get to know you a little bit. Make you introduce yourself, who you are, and how you get to know about the club.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anna Tambo, I'm an intern at VTBTO. I just started a few weeks ago, and I'm here with Mahmoud.
Wow.
And invited myself, and apologies for coming late. I was busy looking for the building, but it's really interesting. This is my first time at Toastmaster session, and I'm enjoying it. So thank you so much for the invite.
Well, thank you, Mahmoud, as well. You are the goodwill ambassador of the club. I can see that, like the influencer, like bringing in all the people. So thanks for that. And actually, so the next part will come to the prepared speech. And before I deliver this speech, I would actually like to introduce the evaluator of the one who will be evaluating my speech, who is Benjamin, who is joining us online, you know, with a very funky and interesting background. So Ben, can you tell us a little bit more about the objective of the speech and how are you gonna evaluate the speech? Please.
Sure,
Ben.
sure. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. Hi, everyone. I'll be the evaluator of Sila's speech. Sila is now in the track team collaboration focused on the positive, and today she will share aspects of the experience of keeping a daily record of moods and attitudes, feeling positive or negative, successes and effort, and 3 things for which the speaker is grateful: record and evaluate changes in behavior or the behavior of others. Sila, everything, everywhere, all at once. It's
Everything, everywhere, all at once. How many of us have watched the movie?
I started it this weekend.
Or at least listening to the acceptance speech of Michelle Yeoh during all the winning ceremonies. This is one of the movies that I've watched recently in the past few years that I really, really enjoy, and I would highly recommend you all to check it out. Mostly because of its visual effects, the messages, and the ideas. Mind you, it might not be everyone's cup of tea though. But if you want to expose yourself to something completely different and get inspired by crazy ideas, definitely this would be one of those movies. It might sound a bit of a spoiler, but I need to tell you a little bit more about the movie before I share with you what I like the most about the movie. So here it is. There are 3 main characters in the movie: Evelyn, Raymond, and their daughter Joy. So they are the, first generation of the Chinese immigrant who moved to the US, and they run the laundry business. Life is tough. And they are constantly fighting with the tax authority because the business is not doing well. Evelyn also has really difficult relationship with her father, husband, and daughter. She's always afraid that she would be a disappointment for her father. She lost touch with her husband because of the hardship in life. And she's also really angry at her daughter because she's a lesbian. When everything seems like falling apart for Evelyn, all of a sudden she got this like superpower to fight in a multiverse. What is a multiverse? Those are multiple universes that coexist at the same time. And all this universe symbolizes the different fights that she needs to fight in her real life. With competing demands in both our professional life and personal life, don't we all feel sometimes a bit like Evelyn? That you have to fight to be everything, everywhere, all at once. Personally, I feel like the fighting actually gets even more intense since COVID. Don't get me wrong, COVID gave us, lots of teaching experiences and opened up numerous possibilities. But first, it was the online meeting. One day to the next, we have to learn how to operate from an in-person meeting to a completely online meeting. We learn how to operate to work in an office and then working from home. And as the situation gets better, now we have to learn how to operate in a hybrid environment. You might even need to come back to the office when you have no idea who is in and who is not. You're expected to be agile, flexible, adaptable. So you need to join online, in-person, hybrid meeting, anytime, everywhere, all at once. How best can we be our superhero when confronted with this new normality? The two main characters in the movie, Evelyn and her husband, they adopted complete opposite strategies. Evelyn is the one who chooses to fight, and she always feels like she's the one getting things fixed. She has to keep everything together by fighting against all odds. Well, for her, her husband is just being nice and kind. Hardship and bitterness in life has turned Evelyn into a fierce fighter. What she forgets, however, is the very fact that her husband has always been there, fighting side by side with her, no matter which multiple universe that she was in. Being sucked into her own problems and issues, Evelyn was completely unaware of the support, the love that was given by her husband, until at one point, he couldn't take it anymore, and he confronted her. When I choose to see the good side of things, I'm not being naive. It is strategic and necessary. This is how I learned to survive through everything. I know you see yourself as a fighter. Well, I see myself as one too, and this is how I fight. Fellow Toastmasters, when fighting to be everywhere, everything, all at once, have we taken the time to pause and reflect? Why are we fighting all different battles in life? What are we fighting for? And for whom we are fighting? And while busy fighting all these fights, did we appreciate the good things that happened to us? The love, support, and kindness that we have received along the way. In order to be everything, everywhere, all at once, maybe all we need is a bit more awareness and kindness. Be aware of the kindness around us. Be aware that being kind is also one way to fight. And sometimes this might be the best and the most powerful way to fight.
So I asked the timer for a minute of silence, and I will distribute these. I'm being creative since we don't have the slips, but feedback is important in this club. Please give your reactions to Stella's speech on this little slip of paper. 1 minute, but we have time.
Okay, but which cup will it be?
Which cup?
We need a cup. See this. This table.
Yes.
And
Does anybody else want to take a picture of the table?
Well, basically just yeah. And then do it again. It's really like, yeah, I'm living it. I can see that.
Can you please borrow a pen from?
I was very much relieved. It was private university. Yes. Because it goes in the green. That's speaker one, right? Yes, speaker one. You should be internal.
Hold on. No, it's 1 minute of silence, right? It's 1 minute off. Yes. So now we came the most interesting part for the meeting, which is the table topic session.
Yeah.
We got a second speaker.
1 minute of silence.
My educational presentation.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about this. Sorry. It's,
Well, I can skip it if you want.
yes, it is in the agenda. Sorry. It's my oversight. That's the problem when you try to be everything everywhere all at once. You forget things like, and actually this is a very important and part of our meeting today as well. We have our Vice President of Education, Maria Teresa, who will be delivering a presentation and speech on the meeting roles and responsibilities in a typical Toastmaster meeting. So, Maria Teresa, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. You know, maybe I shouldn't be giving a presentation on the roles and responsibilities of the officers, since that would be more appropriate. But one of the reasons I'm giving this speech is that I feel a need to get you all a little bit more on board with how to be more active in our club. I see trends in our club that I don't like. I see a lot of the executive committee members basically running the show. Toastmasters is not just about an executive committee. It's all embracing. It's everyone. So let's start at the beginning. We start out with our presiding officer. The presiding officer is usually the president, and the president announces any business, any issues about dues or social events or anything going on that the president thinks the general membership ought to know. Ordinarily, this is a relatively short session of the Toastmaster meeting, but it also entails welcoming the guests. And Silla did a great job asking them how did they find out about Toastmasters. And I think we should give a special recruitment award to Mahmoud for his efforts. They bear fruit. Okay, that's the presiding officer. The president, or ordinarily, if the president isn't available, it could be the vice president for education or any other member of the committee at the discretion of the president. One thing I forgot to mention is that I want this to be interactive. I don't want it just to be me talking. If there's any expression or terminology or anything that you would like me to go in a little bit more detail, please stop me straight away. You know, ordinarily in Toastmaster presentations, we're very strict. You have to be silent when somebody else is speaking, but I actually welcome questions. And I warn you, I may give you a quiz at the end of this, so please pay attention. The next person on the program, and I'll be honest, I would be lost without an agenda. My agenda is my script. My agenda, when I'm running a Toastmaster meeting or involved in a Toastmaster meeting, basically clues me in as to what's to expect, what's coming next. And unfortunately, when people don't sign up and take roles, and the agenda is bare, or the agenda is not particularly full, I think it makes it a lot harder to run a meeting. So the next person, the Toastmaster of the day. Now, Stella was presiding officer, and usually you should introduce the Toastmaster of the day. And of course, how's she going to do that? You know, do a 360 and now here I am, the Toastmaster of the day. What does the Toastmaster of the day do? Basically, the Toastmaster of the day is your host, to make you feel at home, to welcome you, to basically cordially invite you to participate in the meeting. The Toastmaster of the day sets the tone for the meeting, I find. I thought you did a very good job again with this. She didn't have double duty, she had treble duty, because then after that, she was a prepared speaker. I thought you did admirably well, but you shouldn't always have to do your kind of efforts like this, 3 things in a row. The Toastmaster today is also responsible for introducing people that are part of the meeting. I'll be honest, I hate it when the Toastmaster says, I now invite Maria Teresa to come to the podium to deliver the educational session. Make it spicy. Make it interesting. Make people want to hear me. Say something like, did you know when Maria Teresa joined the Toastmaster Club? Wow, she's that old. She joined as a charter member in. Make it interesting. I mean, make people want to listen. Just like I always advise people that are speaking in an interesting title. Don't just say, blah, 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 like Sarah did. Everything, everywhere, all at once. I thought it was going to be about the movie, but I like the way you incorporated it into your life. The Toastmaster of the day is also responsible, along with the introductions, of receiving people at the podium. The podium is always supposed to be attended. You're not supposed to sneak away because you're nervous or hide under the table because you haven't done it before. You're supposed to stand tall and straight behind the podium. And as you introduce people to come to the podium, there's the compulsory handshake. And the other thing the Toastmaster of the day is responsible for is always leading the applause. Why do we applaud? Are we monkeys? No. We're people who at least express non-verbally our appreciation of somebody doing something. And by the way, it also gives encouragement to the person who's coming up here, who's expected to speak. So it's twofold. Positive reinforcement, encouragement, and so on and so forth. I always try to lead the applause and do it well because it gives me something to. Now I'm looking at my script and we've introduced the speaker. We always ask for a minute of silence for feedback. One of the important components of Toastmasters is finding out what you could be doing better. Now, it's not always about what you did wrong. It's not always about what you did right. How you could somehow be more effective in your public speaking. And I'll be honest, sometimes I find evaluation very, very difficult because I have a tendency to be in your face, very direct. And some cultures don't like this. I hate to say it, but I'm not going to change. I'm going to be as direct as possible and even correct my president when she said there were 2 segments or 2 parts to a Toastmaster meeting. In reality, there's 3. There's a prepared speech section, a table topic section, and an evaluation section. Sally, you were doing too much today, which is why I attribute that minor faux pas, but indeed 3. In fact, in Toastmasters, the power of 3 comes up very, very often. What happens after the first speaker? Well, we have a second speaker in this instance, which is me. And then we basically return control of the meeting. Again, I want you to think about your transitions. Whenever you're up here at the podium with a specific role and you pass on to the next person, think of how that looks. Think of how that looks. I always observe the people on the weather, or I observe the people actually in the news. You know, and they're talking with their external correspondents, and they always are addressing each other by their first name. And they're saying, oh, yes, and we have blah, 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 reporting from Ukraine. And then Mr. Blah, blah, blah comes back and says something. Think of your transitions. Make it smooth. Make it easy. Make it natural. Transitions, transitions, transitions. We already will have in the table topic shortly from Mahmoud. They are the impromptu speeches. But some people love the table topics. Other people despise them. Again, I find this practice. It's basically thinking on your feet without any preparation at all. I think Ria did a very nice job of getting the people that are on the evaluation team explaining their roles, because sometimes in a Toastmaster meeting, particularly when we have a lot of guests, you need to let people know talked about things. I see my time is elapsing, so I asked a couple of questions. When does the timer put up the green light for a prepared speech, as in Scylla's example today? Sorry?
After 5 minutes.
Perfect, okay. And what did I want to ask? Yeah. How many speakers did we have today's meeting? Two. But we don't have evaluations for educational presentations. I'm afraid I'm losing you a little bit. Does anybody have any questions, or was there anything that's not clear? Because I'm going to be observing how many of you, yes, Ria.
So is it possible to not call it a minute of silence, but to call it a minute of evaluation? Because a minute of silence sounds so sad.
I agree. What do you propose? What do you propose?
A minute, just a minute.
Okay, what do you call a minute of reflection? Can we compromise? Can we compromise? A minute of reflection to prepare an evaluation. Thank you. Okay. Yes, Nikki.
And I would like to point out on the green card that the card is raised at the minimum time, which today was 5 minutes, but in other cases, it could be longer, right? Because each type of speech that you give, it has a different time range, and those cards are printed on the back. So it could be 5.
Okay.
On yours, it's listed as a 7 to 10 minutes, so the minimum for you would be 7 minutes, correct?
Could be also lower, no? Because the icebreaker is less.
Icebreaker is lower.
Yeah. The icebreaker is usually 4 to 6. But I mean, civil speech today. Now, does anybody know what all of these funny things on the agenda refer to, like Scylla with TC? No, my time is up. TC2, what does that mean? Do we need artificial intelligence to solve this one?
In collaboration.
Is that you? Yes, brilliant, brilliant. Now you see, he was paying attention. I think we take a lot for granted in Toastmasters, and one of the purposes of my mini presentation, I know 10 minutes is long, but it's a mini presentation, because Toastmasters is rather complicated. And let's not even go into pathways. That's another presentation, another story, or easy speak. In any event, I hope you got something out of this one. I hope in the future, I have basically made the idea of signing up to take a role easier. If you want any additional coaching, please come to me, because I hate to see always members of the committee basically saving the day. And that's what's happened today. I'm sorry, I'm candid, but that's the way I see it. And with that, I return control of the meeting to our Toastmaster of the day and simultaneously our President, Scylla.
So yes, after the education sessions, now we're finally moving on to the table topic session. And chairing this table topic session, we have Mahmoud. I want to share with you 3 things about Mahmoud. First, I think the first time he came for a meeting was last year after the Christmas party, and he got the best table topic speaker award. That was the first meeting that we had Mahmoud. Then the second point is he represented the club to join the evaluation contest and moved it up to the divisional level last Saturday. The third thing is he's apparently our goodwill ambassador who brought us the most number of guests. That's the third thing about Mahmoud. And with that, I would like to pass you, the table topic session, Mahmoud.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Now it's the time for the fun part of the meeting of the day. So it's time for participants to improve with completely unexpected questions. But let me introduce you to the table topics session. It's the session where it's for impromptu speeches. The purpose of the table topics section is to help members to think on their feet and speak on a given subject for between 1 or 2 minutes. And it also allows speaking opportunities for those who are not programmed for other roles on the agenda. But also that doesn't mean that those who are not programmed on the agenda will not be asked. We can expect anything. So, of course, if you want to volunteer in questioning, I would be happy to give you a chance. I will be choosing randomly. Let me start with our Toastmaster Ria. Okay.
I was just on Saturday.
This to be teaching the guests how it works.
Okay.
I will be starting with a Toastmaster. What is your happiest childhood memory and what makes it so special?
Thank you for this, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. Well, what is the memory that I have from my childhood that makes me happy? And I would say it is related to food, of course. Yeah, it is a special sweet that was sold in one of the shops in Baden, where I'm born, where I live, and it called Brausetabletten, which means something like it is you put it in the mouth and then it goes whoa. And at that time we had in Austria the shilling, and it was like you get a pack like this for 3 shillings, and it was so many sweets. And I think it was a joy, and I was 5 or 6 always going to this shop and to buy loads of sweets with less of money. Having it in my hand, it was colorful, in the mouth it was very surprising, and it was for me always a highlight. And I would say that it is with this the nicest memory, yeah, and it is related to food, of course. Thank you.
Of course, we all have good memories with food. Now let's move on to the next question. Toastmaster Ines, what small act of kindness you were shown once that you will never forget? What small act of kindness were you once shown that you will never forget? Toastmaster Ines.
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, table topics master. It was one day in Vienna, approximately, it was a hot summer day last year, 35 degrees, and I was in the inner city. We were sitting on a bench and having an ice cream food. Really, one of these best yogurt ice creams. And suddenly, I was sitting with my husband, and suddenly an old woman alone came and asked if she could come and sit next to us. Of course. So we moved, and she watched us eating ice cream. It was hot, and we thought, actually, it's not very nice. We are eating ice cream. This woman, 85 years old, can hardly walk, and nobody pays attention to her. So what we did is I asked her whether I could offer her an ice cream. In Vienna, in a big city, it's a no-go. You're not taking this gesture from anybody as a Viennese old woman. So she said to us, no. That was her first reaction. No, I don't need it. No. And then she watched me again after a while, and she said, yes, I'm taking it. And it was such a nice feeling that I was able for €2.50 to give this woman an ice cream of her life, and she really enjoyed it.
Yes, today, Simon. If you had to teach something, what would you teach?
Toastmasters, forgive me for my lack of knowledge in how you usually proceed and the formalities within the club. Um, if I had to teach something, it would be how to teach people to be more open-minded and creative. I have realized that whenever you go and ask a child, what makes you happy? What do you want to be? They're filled with dreams and ambition. Everybody wants to grow up, maybe be like their heroes, maybe their parents are their heroes, maybe be like someone on TV, maybe be a superhero, which they will realize at some point is unrealistic, but children dream. And at some point, as we progress through our education, we lose this ability to be creative and to dream as much as we did when we were children. So what can we change? We can begin accepting the fact that the world and technology is changing at a pace which we cannot keep up with every new technology which emerges, with every new trend. We are sometimes facing struggles with work or with friends. But how can this change? Do acts of kindness, accept different cultures, be willing to try new things, be willing to explore new cultures, be willing to accept diversity. And if you can open up your mind, you can be more creative in ways that you can never imagine it. And you can just start with small steps.
Really nice. Thank you so much. Thank you. I would like to take one of the guests that are joining us virtually. Yes. Fellow Toastmaster Benjamin. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Now that's a funny one. Make a case for cats being better than dogs for a dog person.
Sorry, can you repeat? I didn't understand at all. Can you repeat once more?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Make a case for cats being better than dogs for a dog person.
Make a taste.
A case.
Yeah.
Make a case. Sorry, I don't really understand
Case
the
for
question.
cats being better than dogs for a dog person.
Dog person. Wow.
Crazy. Find something.
Well, being a dog person, usually dogs hate cats, as we all know. But I believe there is a world where these two can go together and have. I'm sure you've been seeing some of these examples around in some places where there are dogs and cats in the same house. So make a case for dog person. Well, I guess these dogs just need to be friendly with the cat as much as they can. And most of it meet more cats, because if they never see cats, well, they may just fall into this I hate cats because I don't know them. But if you meet cats, we all know that they can be quite aggressive when you approach in a directive way. But if you come with your hand that is turned towards the up, they may be friendful. So yeah, this dog person should just be friendly with cats. Thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you. Moving on to another item. Fellow Toastmaster Nikki, what is the one thing that you would most like to change about the world?
Wow, that's a big question, and thank you so much for posing it. What is the one thing I would like to change about the world? Well, I'm actually pretty inspired by our guest, Simone. Your speech was beautiful, And I would actually lean on a lot of the ideas that you presented. I think going forward with kindness and creativity is extremely important. And a lot of time I see the divisions and the chaos and the war that we have as really be seeing different sides fighting with one another because we can't come to a common ground. And I think, you know, showing kindness and trying to find the humanity in one another is extremely special and challenging. So if I were to change one thing, it would be to try to find a way to unite differing sides so that we can live in peace with one another.
Yes, Anna, do you think impromptu speeches should be taught in the school?
Thank you so much for the invitation and for the question as well. So that's a very great question. And when I answer this, I think of my nieces and nephews, and I try and think about the kind of education that I went through, but also trying to look at them and the ways that they have been taught and being empowered to express themselves. And I think a huge part of it is learning how to have an identity, to be able to have their own thoughts and to be able to verbalize them. And so I think in a world where communication and engagement is more and more important, that's a skill that is beautiful to hone, because not only does it improve their confidence, but they're able to communicate and to express themselves and to share ideas. And so while impromptu speeches might be nerve-wracking for some, understandably so, it's something that we can all embrace slowly. The pace might not be the same for everybody, but at the end of the day, it's one of the things that would make the world communicate more.
I agree with you on that. In the world of artificial intelligence, we also need natural intelligence, and it should be taught in school. Fellow Toastmaster Monica, can you hear me? Yes. Another funny question. How do you feel about putting mayonnaise on French fries?
Did you mean me?
Yes.
Yeah.
But what, can you please repeat the question again?
How do you feel about putting mayonnaise on French fries?
Ah, mayonnaise and French fries. Actually, I think it's not a bad idea. I have seen a lot of people who eat French fries with mayonnaise. Actually, I even have seen some that have mayonnaise, ketchup, and mustard, and eat French fries with the three of them. And my little niece actually sometimes she uses the three of them and mixes them up, and then puts her French fries inside. So I think I have seen so many different things that if the person likes it, why not? I have seen, for example, other people who eat toast with marmalade and cheese as well, which I like very much. And sometimes people stare at me because think that it's very strange. So I think if you like it, why not? I mean, we have several different dishes all over the world, different tastes, and I think this kind of gives a certain spicy to different traditions, different people. So yes, I think it's okay.
It is okay. Yeah. I know it myself, to be honest. Now, one more question.
What's the time?
It's okay.
We have, yeah.
One more question to our fellow Toastmaster, Brian. Brian, do you think people can change? Why or why not?
I think people can change because people look around to their lives and they They see things differently from time to time, from year to year. They're affected by the people they're around, the environment they live in. And they maybe come up for some reason, and they begin to reflect on their lives. It's time to make a change. And I've seen people throughout their lives, they made changes. I think a lot of what we are from when we're young is always there. But you see people have changed how they look at things, how they act. And I do think this is possible. And hopefully it's a change for the better.
That I would like to wrap it up and hand over back to Toastmaster of the day. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Okay, the ballots. Ballots for Toastmasters, I mean, the table topics. Investigative topic.
So yeah, just a summary of all the speakers now that we need to vote for the best table topic speakers. First one, we have Ria, who talks about her childhood memory. Second one is Ine, who talks about the act of kindness that she would not forget. Simon, our guest, who talked about what does he want to teach. Ben, who is trying to sell cat to someone who loves dogs. Nikki, who talks about what does she want to change in the world. Anna, who talks about whether impromptu speech should be taught in school or not. Monica, who talks about whether it's okay to have mayonnaise on the French fries. And Brian, who talks about change. Yes, what is it like? Can people change or not? So yeah, that's like we have 8 table topic speakers in total. So and you. One of them to be the best thing.
How do they vote is the question.
Oh yeah, for Ben and Monica, maybe you can send us the WhatsApp message in the group, and then we can also count that as well. Yeah. Or the chat in the Teams, I think that would work too. Like either way, but if you want, yeah, make it private, then maybe WhatsApp there. So, like, before, now maybe it's time actually for us also to move on to the general evaluation, of the section. And with that, I will, before that, actually, Ben needs to give his evaluation of the speech. No,
General evaluation.
general evaluator. So, yeah, I will give the floor now to Leah, who's the general evaluator.
Okay, thank you so much. Wow, what nice table topics you have. Thank you so much, Mahmoud. I would like now to ask Ben to evaluate Sila's speech and tell us about his point of views. Ben, I give control to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, General Evaluator. I wish I could have used artificial intelligence to reply to Mahmoud the question and to do the evaluation of Sila, but I tried my best, and I'll give Sila, which I don't see, but I'm sure you're on the left somewhere there. So I'd like to start with some positive aspects. And the first one for me is really a strength that you have is that you excel at varying tones and body language. You do bigger moves and you're louder when getting excited, and therefore you communicate well this excitement. I think you said at some point, this is how I fight, and the message really went through well. You also use very well humor in general. As always, I loved when you brought the spoiler alerts. Areas of improvement I've written down. Starting a speech with a question, I think it's efficient, it works, but it's also risky in case people don't reply to your question. I think Nikki replied to your question at the beginning, so it didn't work, but yeah, to me it's a bit of a risky introduction. Then I've written down that you were looking at your notes quite often. Well, we cannot imagine how much hours you put into Toastmasters. So I understand that preparing your speech is something that comes on the top of all the tasks you have to do for Toastmasters. So we all understand. The only thing that I found that you could do better is when not having time to prepare your speech, you may just learn the introduction and the conclusion so that this comes through well. And I think towards the end for the conclusion, you looked at your notes quite often, and so it weakened quite a lot, the conclusion. About the overall structure of your speech, I like the fact that you went for the characters of the film, character 1, then parallel with your life, character 2, then parallel with your life. I just thought that maybe sometimes the introduction of the character was a bit long, so you could have gone also with one trait of the character parallel with your life, second trait of the character parallel with your life.
Yeah.
And yeah, this would have made it a bit more dynamic for me. But overall, what I think you did very well is that your message went through, and you've done that by doing two things for me. A lot of your parallels or your metaphors were greatly connected. One of them was between your title and the online, hybrid, and in-person meeting. It was really clear and helpful. And the second thing that I'll keep for my future speeches is that you repeated multiple times the title of your speech during the speech. And I think that is a very efficient way to get the message of your speech through just by simply repeating the title of it. Thank you. And with this, I return back the control to the general elevator.
Very much, Ben. With this, I would like now, and with no artificial intelligence, ask our grammarian to please give us his point of view. Ines, the word
Can
is
I
yours.
come there?
Please come.
Because Toastmasters on a guest use of English language is perfect. I really have to commend you for that. There are a couple of small issues which I would like to highlight. And, starting with Sarah's feed, you had some really great formulations, which really made it very interesting also to listen to what you are saying. When I'm looking at the use of the word multi-first, I have a couple of question marks. Sometimes you talked about multi-first, multiple first, and multi-universe, which I thought was a bit, you mixed it a little bit. So I think in my perception from what I just saw, what you wanted to tell us, I thought it is multi-first. Okay, I will check that out. I have not been able to do that. And being agile, I like that expression because it's exactly what we really need to learn and we need to do this time. Then Maria Teresa, going to Maria Teresa, I like the formulation all embracing. We have to be all embracing. Very nicely put. Mahmoud talked to, in table topics, we have victims. Actually, no, we have contributors. I think it's good to put a positive spin to it. You talked also about natural intelligence, which I think is really something we need these days, instead of artificial intelligence alone. Yeah, we need it also. Simon, no? Simon? Yeah. Talked about open-mindedness. You start with that. And I like the way you really have woven it in your table topics contribution. I also thought you talked about children's dream, and small thing, children's dream, I would say, no? Ben, you talked, and Ben and our table topic masters had something about a dog's person, and actually it is a dog's lover of somebody who loves dogs. Actually, that's why I think he could also not understand what you were trying to tell him. I guess. My interpretation. Then also Ben said the message went through. I thought the message came through. This is my feeling. The context you wanted to highlight. The word of the day was used 4 times. Well done. And I was actually waiting for Simon to weave in artificial intelligence, because especially the younger generation is very much, there's a hype around this particular concept. And the grammarian crown, I would like to give to Sela. Sela said, being kind to one is one way to fight. It's exactly what it is. Anyway, there.
Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful explanation. So now we go to the timekeeper. How does it work for us? There. This one.
My dear fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. I think today either you were not very much inspired, or the questions were difficult, or there should have been artificial intelligence to replace the timer. Because nobody went over 2, nobody went over time, that's for sure. And 3 persons went under. So the crown goes to Brian, 39 seconds. And then we have Anna, well, Anna is a guest, right? 56 seconds, and Nikki, 57 seconds. You almost made it. Not quite. Oh, she's gone. She's gone. Oh, sorry, I really need artificial intelligence to help me there. I don't even see people going out. So, but the others are Ria, Ines, Simon, or you say Simon or Simon?
Simeon, but
Simeon.
Okay, it's hard to pronounce.
Simeon. Simeon did very well indeed. 1 minute 35. See, perfect.
Thank you.
And this ends my report. Well, the speech is the speech. The speech. Right. The first speaker, perfect. 6 minutes 25 seconds. That was perfect. The second speaker. Sorry.
Too long.
Yeah, well, 11. But you had questions. And the evaluation was 3 minutes something. I can't see where I put it, but it was within the time.
Thank you so much. Good. And now to a part that we all do not like that much, because now comes the truth out. Please, Monica, tell us about our ahs and ohs, and I will hide here.
So, Madam General Evaluator and fellow Toastmasters, this is my report. Sila, just 1 gap filler. Nicole, 3 at the end. Ria, 8. Ines, 4. Mahmoud, 4. Simeon, 3. Sorry. Simeon. Okay, 3. Benjamin, 8. Nikki, 2. Anna, 3. And that's it. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
So with this, having said, and all the evaluation that we have on our list, it comes to me to evaluate the whole meeting. And I would like to thank everyone today. It was a constructive meeting today. It was a nice energy in the room. I thank our guests for involving and for being so not nervous for the first time. You did a great job. It was amazing. I want to highlight one thing, and that is your speech, Sila. It is as usual, always a pleasure listening to you. And it is not only the words that you express, it is your body language, the loudness of your speech and how you underline certain sentences when getting louder, yeah. And we learned so much from you. You don't even can imagine how much, yeah. So thank you for this. It was really good. Teresa, thank you. Thank you for always telling us how it works and how it should be. Without you, I don't know. I think we all got lost. The podium would be empty and we had chaos. Yeah, it is well noted, everything that you said, and it is a great help for everyone. So it was very
Sign
important
up
to you.
next time.
Yes,
Sign up
up.
next time.
So with this, I would like to say thank you to the guests. Come again. We would like to welcome you. Thank you, Mahmoud, for really being maybe the next ExCom with you as a PR officer. Yeah. And thank you all for joining today. It was a joyful meeting, and I hope to see you soon. With this, I'm going to give control. And the president, speaker.
Brilliant, thanks a lot. And so with that, I would like also Brian maybe to tell us the result of the best table topic speaker. We have the ribbon by any chance? I think so.
Should they give ribbons to guests?
Oh, yeah, well, I think Mahmoud got his.
I got his,
as well. Yes, we should, like, I mean, guests can have also, I mean.
I think it's fair.
So we are looking for the best table topic speaker ribbon for you. That, may I also ask you for some feedback for our meeting, just to tell us, you know, a bit like how you feel about meeting and, yeah.
I think it was a good start of the meeting to introduce the topic we were speaking about. It was very impactful. I was not completely sure how we were supposed to use the keyword artificial intelligence. I didn't know if that was the word of the day we got from Google or we were supposed to incorporate it into everything we were doing today. So maybe a little clarification on that would be nice. I also feel very grateful. Everybody's been super welcoming. It made me feel very calm. I do believe this is going to be great, especially for interns or people who are shy to speak. So I think it would be a great idea to advertise it maybe a little more. This would be a great learning opportunity for many people, and not only interns, maybe for a staff who are not perfectly familiar with English or another language they would like to improve on, especially when it comes to public speaking. One small concern I would have is that I believe this meeting went so well because we were a small group of people, but if it scales, there might be some issues perhaps with time management or giving everyone a chance to speak or participate in the meeting. So you might want to consider how we will proceed it.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't have too much to add, but just I think for the first time there was a lot of things that a lot of rules that go with having participating in a session. So I appreciated the breakdown and the discussions that went into helping us to understand what's happening every step of the way. And I think maybe perhaps with more people joining in, it will be something that would also be beneficial for first timers and newcomers. Other than that, it's really interesting to see the positive feedback and that goes through with every speaker that is on stage. And so I truly appreciated the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben and Monica, for joining us online as well. I think Ben is actually having his holiday, but that tells you, like, you know, what can we do like with the technology. And also for next meeting, I know that Ben has already signed up for a speech that we will be delivering a speech next time, which is on the 9th of May. So, you know, mark it down in your calendar, and then we look forward to hearing more from you as well. And I hope to see you in person as well, Monica. Like, yeah, in addition to also joining us online. But before then, social event coming next Thursday, which is the 4th of May at 5 in the bar. So, you know, you're most welcome to join us and to check it out. And we would also love to have a bigger group to help to promote the event. So bring your friends along, you know, who might be interested in checking out the meeting. And yes, finally, we've given him enough time, like, we're making this happen. So the best paper public speaker, please come to the stage and. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing all these interesting ideas. Thank you. Ooh, okay, so with that, I would announce the end of the meeting, and I hope to see you next Thursday for the social, and then on the 9th of May for another meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you,
Ciao.
man. Thank you, guys. Next time.
Perhaps help with the cleanup a little bit.
Say it again?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have asked, yes, I wouldn't have asked, I still never asked, like Monica, who's a member of the.
You know, this Monica,
Whatever you like.
But we have another Monica over here. Tell me something. I'm supposed to go with Ria. Sometime between 3 and 3:30. Which are others?
Very.
Have a meeting.
Oh my God, June 9th?
20.
Oh, what's he? Are you behind locked doors? Okay, give me an extension.
But with Sarah Johnson,
Two?
to be a big one.
It's not enough.
It doesn't matter, this one Sunday event.
So when is that?
Again, it's the same for
Yeah, but
I know
what
what you're going to.
I know. No, I don't have to. It's like,
From the legal point of view,
yeah.
I could see that Austria was taking notes. The message is going through is that A people. I don't think your statute as a registered as all. Or they keep speaking their rights.
Yes.
You have to.
Yeah.
be registered.
I think what you're saying is that point that, you know, we might not need to keep it with Bank of Austria. Because that's also exactly what is that they have discussed. So it's like they're exploring the other option of like investment bank. But I think what happens is, I don't want to make a decision until next week when they have discussed. Yes, this will fix it. I promise I'll fix it before I write.
In order to fix it, we're not going to get a thing.
Yeah, that's okay, but I will get that done. I will get that done. Make sure that we get this stuff done.
And that's to close the account before we do something, because they'll tell us, okay, we are all going as a bank to have a problem. If you have a problem, so we'll.
Yeah.
So.
We'll discuss. Don't worry.
No, it's not discussing it forever. It's taking a decision, we're taking action now, not in a month.
The thing is, Brigitte is away. And I cannot do that when she's away.
Yeah, but this is.
We have about it. We also look into the possibility to have.
It is going to be the same. Did you go to the?
Very good.
The
thing is they need a state. But not all of them.
No,
We
they
don't
need
really.
to be registered as a bank.
Delegates.
And that is.
Although it's what they can.
Without a statute, we're not going to get
He's
this.
not a.
And
You
then
will stay a member of the.
go to the
club, right?
office
Also his
and
contract
everything
ends,
signed.
right?
You
Well, we said in the committee would be.
just worried.
It's not personal.
But I know, you have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to go to the authorities, say, who is the president, who is the
for that?
secretary,
Because
and who is the treasurer? You can three, but maybe listen to me. You've got to sign the papers, you've got to make sure that everything is.
Okay, we talk about that.
Correct.
Which, so this is your extension 21461?
And you've got to go there.
Okay, and you
And
can
in
do it before
between,
3:30?
I saw the email.
Not easily.
And they're
Okay.
getting nervous, they go through, they're telling us, okay, I didn't.
Okay, no,
I
no,
don't see now.
Okay.
In the meantime,
We
there's
compromise.
there's a way of going about it. In the meantime, and I don't know when she's doing that, or what it is.
Yes. The only
She has,
comment I really have-
holiday. Yeah, she has a holiday.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. So,
No,
don't worry. No, because somebody said that's what they should have like that.
I have one more question, but.
One thing to
Yeah.
this is
One thing
exactly
is
how
that
it
she
works,
can
and they
work
come
it
back.
You want the
Under
first
your
time
name,
you
as a
give your keep,
trustee.
right, and then
Open
you've got a
second,
member.
you can
He will
have
be a
to-
member, you
everybody
see
can
that,
have
and
to
she,
vote.
because they are.
Yeah, and
They
you can
involve
give.
me,
Yeah,
as
sometimes there's a member that didn't get a chance to speak. That's not fair
So
around
you
here.
get
That's
the
not
money
fair.
out of the account, which
Yeah.
you put it on
Maybe not to
your
us,
name.
people with a big
As
role,
a
this
secretary.
is something that
She
I
didn't
would.
have to.
You get it
Because
settled
the
so that
Kenyan
you
gas-
don't lose the money.
She didn't have to.
No, they won't, that's the they can just produce it, and then they get money, they cannot do that.
Don't worry, we are in a, we are actually.
If I was in your place, to be honest.
It's
Nobody
like
else can do
that.
that.
Not-
But, yeah, I know.
I get it. If your account is not being active for the last 10 years, the account is.
So we will be in
So
touch.
if it's not.
We will be in touch.
We'll be in touch ماشي خلاص انت احنا خلصت هنا انا هعملها كونكشن مع البنات خلاكم مجانين هو مخيف للاسف هو اخذ بعض راح سيفيليا دلوقتي
After Brigitte and Ines
okay.
discussion
في
last
اسبانيا علشان
we
يكون
agree that they have
البحر
a
بس انتوا مش
discussion.
عارفين تروحوا اليونان يعني تنزلوا 3 صفحات على طول على
And
البحر
she already wrote back to
لا لا
them.
هناك 26
Yeah.
لا
So it's not their
She's saying, well, can.
ماشي هو كذلك ان شاء الله
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not like I am not making a decision about this. I wasn't even informed of what has happened after the discussion, right?
No,
So I need
Sila,
to.
we put our head, let's be very honest about it, we put our heads in the sand for the last 6 months ago.
About what?
About
No,
the
but
bank
I only
account.
got to know
About
about
what?
this.
You've
About the
done
what?
it for 6 months.
About the what?
About the.
No, but that was
correct,
not
the
me.
correct,
I mean, if
the
you check.
club,
No,
the
no,
ex-com,
No, because there.
No, about what?
This is like, and I cannot fix all these things that the
Then-
club has not fixed for all
then-
these years. Am I supposed to be the one to fix
No.
every single problem of the club?
No, I'm not saying you, I'm saying the ex-com, we've been putting our
No,
heads
this
in the
actually
sea.
was only discussed during last executive committee meeting.
No, we
What are you
had,
fighting about? Can I get in?
the bank account, we've had an email from the big red months ago.
No, but that was not in the last.
But that was never shared.
We
We
didn't
never
do
saw
that.
that. It was never shared.
It was never shared.
It was never shared.
That's
It was
not
never showed that.
No, it was not. I was never.
Please, I would like to say something.
Not the club, the problem is the bank.
Nicole,
It's not the
it was never shared.
It was like,
The
That's what
problem
she
is
said,
the
and
bank
it's true.
because from the.
It's the bank, the bank.
Of course.
Then it's a new manager.
No, it's like, I mean,
How they simply.
Nicole, where am I
Because
supposed to
there's so
do that?
many.
You're not supposed to. This is like.
They were, so that's from the Greek, right? Yeah, but we're actually, they just send it out.
Brigitte just shared this with